Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. So
this is Layla Santanello. She has been missing since June 27th, 2023, and she disappeared from Kingsport, Tennessee. Chronicles of Olivia and I went out to Kingsport, Tennessee on several different trips, searching for Layla Santanello or any information leading to her whereabouts. These are my thoughts on this case.
well, I have to be honest with you. I was hoping by now we would have found Layla. So this has been very hard. You know, we want to bring her home. We want to make sure that her family knows what happened to her, I think is really the most important. Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. Just like to speak to them just for a moment and just say, if you know something, say something, because her life does matter. For the family members of these people that know what happened to her, it could have been your daughter. It could have been your granddaughter. You need to ask them to stand up and speak up.
Tom, it's just a tough subject. A recent study by Brown University showed that nearly 450 children are killed each year by their parents.
My daughters were picked up on a Friday by their father to spend the weekend, and that night he pumped carbon monoxide into their bedroom and slit their throats.
Justice have begun for two children killed by their mother in Hopkins County.
9-year-old Hayden King was laid to rest today. Hayden's 4-year-old sister Harper will have a celebration of life service tomorrow morning.
Here's a story that's breaking at 6 o'clock. It's all centered around the three people you see on your screen. The key pieces in a Middletown murder case.
On the left is James Hutchinson. Police say the 6-year-old was killed allegedly by his own mother.
East Los Angeles mother was charged today with killing her 3 young children. The youngest was less than 2 months old.
At 6 with breaking news.
Good evening to you, friends. Greg Merriweather along with Elizabeth Vow. Our top story today, that precious little 2-year-old right now. 2 people are facing charges accused of murdering little Nevaeh Allen. Investigators found the 2-year-old dead in Mississippi after several days of searching.
One of those blamed in her death, the girl's mother, Lanaya Cardwell.
TGIF for those that made it. Welcome to Friday. Yes, I'm back with my buttons. What would I do without my buttons? It is nice to see you all here this Friday. I've got Miss Delilah cuddled up next to me. It's still freezing cold in Florida. That means the rest of the country is an icicle. So I don't know how many people are bundled up in their house with their heat on. I'm one of those people bundled up in my house with my heat on. I will be making an order today because I'm not going out. You know, I spend a god-awful amount of money having stuff delivered here, especially in the winter time, because I'm out of soda. Okay, my diet soda is gone. I got 1 can left, and we're in DEFCON 1 situation here. Okay, so I'm not going out. I'm bundled up inside the warm home with my beautiful little puppy, and that's going to be our day. I hope everybody is staying warm. The ones that have to go to work, we love you. Thank you for keeping the country moving, especially for us lazy ones that want to be bundled up in the house. God bless each and every one of you. God bless you. We've been covering the case of Sebastian Rogers, but we've also have other cases that we are covering. So I'm going to give you guys some updates because Bryan Kohberger, many of you guys have been following me since the Bryan Kohberger case. Some of you guys have been following me longer than that. But Bryan Kohberger this is going to be one of the situations where I don't know how the judge is going to rule. I can just give you my opinion. I didn't watch the hearing. We were going to watch it, but I was so confused with the order. When was it going to be? We were literally going to have to sit here for an entire, day to see if we were going to have, get any bits and pieces of the Bryan Kohberger trial, because the order, they didn't give us a specific time when they're turning the cameras off. In the order, they said at times they were going to be turning the cameras off, even in the middle of the trial. Oh, thank you, Melanie. God bless you. Thank you so much. Happy Friday, Betty, Delilah, mods, and chat. Thank you, my love. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Be Betty fans in the house too. True Wrecking Crime. It's nice to see you. I can never say your name right. Luna Luvania. I'll get it one of these days without being tongue-tied. Carol, the real Me Too, B, a Betty fan, Lady Dragon, good morning. Everybody else that's coming in, Frank is saying it's 32 degrees. It's freezing. Reality Wins, good morning. We got Barb up in the house. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. So let's just move over to the Bryan Kohberger case, get updated on that. It's they're challenging the DNA. So this is kind of a little scary time, not only for us, but for the families of the 4 victims. Is the DNA going to be tossed? I don't know one way or another. I have to believe it's not going to be tossed, but I digress. I'm going to go over here. This is the one I wanted to use. StreamYard. Yes. I had to take it off because it was drowning this running of stuff. So let's see what we've got on video, and it's going to be a commercial. So turn your volume down while it loads.
Bryan Kohberger's attorneys are fighting to keep key evidence from being presented at his trial. The defense team claims law enforcement violated Kohberger's constitutional rights when they used a process called investigative genetic genealogy, or IgG, during the investigation into the deaths of 4 University of Idaho students in 2022. All right, let's bring in Abby Davis. And Abby, the parents of one of those victims, they're upset they weren't allowed in court to hear all of these arguments today.
Nobody was, Brian, aside from the legal teams. The judge closed much of the hearing over concerns the arguments could taint the jury pool.
That's been their excuse for all of this secrecy. And it is a high-profile case, but I don't know. I really just don't agree with the hiding of everything. I just don't. But he needs a fair trial, right? And they're going overboard, in my opinion. I don't see them doing this to anybody else to this level across this country. And we've had a lot of high-profile cases in this country.
This work was not done lawfully.
In day 2 of this week's hearings,
I'm trying to understand the legal argument.
Bryan Kohberger's attorneys claimed law enforcement illegally gathered and shared the DNA that led them to identify the defendant as a suspect in the quadruple murder case. They asked Ada County District Judge Stephen Hippler not to allow the investigative genetic genealogy data as evidence at trial.
This is a situation where this identification was done in complete secret behind closed doors, and it's been continued to be a secret.
Defense attorney Ann Taylor says there should have been search warrants in place before detectives analyzed DNA from the crime scene and collected items out of the trash at Kohberger's family home in Pennsylvania.
There has to be a warrant to search these types of things.
That is untrue. It is well established in this country. Trash is just that. It's abandoned property. The minute that trash can hits the edge of the road for collection, it is ripe for search. People go through garbage, collect cans. It's not an unlawful act, okay? And they went even a step further. They let the trash collection company collect the trash, and then they collected it from the trash company. Again, in my opinion, especially the trash, in and of itself was not unlawfully obtained. So we have the DNA and we have the trash. He was identified on November 29th by a officer that worked for the University of the Washington State University, rather, right? And so they were looking for the white Elantra. He came across a white Elantra in the Steptoe Village Apartments, which was campus housing for PhD and higher level education students. So they did identify him. They did collect trash from Pennsylvania, and they do have the DNA on the snap of the knife sheath. To me, those were all collected lawfully and legally. So for them to toss the DNA identification, in my personal opinion, it didn't look like the judge was really interested in the arguments, in my opinion. I don't think they're tossing it. But again, there's no slam dunk. We don't know what the judge is saying, and we don't have access to the case law in Idaho to refer to. You know, there's statutes, but there's the case law that defines those statutes, and we don't have access to that. So is this going to be a good argument? To me, she doesn't even seem very confident in this argument, to be honest with you.
And there wasn't.
Judge Hippler pushed back.
I struggle with the idea that DNA left at a crime scene, that there's any expectation of privacy by someone who leaves DNA at a crime scene, that DNA can't be, as you say, searched without a warrant to establish identity.
Well, Your Honor, I don't think any of us can go out of our houses without leaving DNA all over the place.
Not go to a crime scene.
The defense is they're trying to pick and choose what they believe the searches are throughout this chain. And what they're leaving out repeatedly is where this DNA started. Well, it started at a quadruple homicide.
The state argues just because law enforcement didn't share certain details about the investigation.
But the reason why I say I don't think he's entertaining it is because of his response and his line of questioning that we just heard about him saying, I don't think there's an expectation of privacy. You know, obviously the DNA derived from inside of this particular home where 4 people were found deceased, and they were found deceased by stab wounds of a large fixed blade knife. Well, it just so happens that a sheath that doesn't belong to that house was located between the blanket and one of the victim's legs. So it was obviously left at the time of the struggle because it was out of place.
Investigation doesn't mean they acted illegally.
Yes, IGG was used in this case. And yes, it did point to the defendant. But the fact that happened doesn't mean that there was a violation of the Fourth Amendment.
Amen.
Attorneys also argued whether there should be a Franks hearing. If Hippler agrees, Kohberger's legal team plans on challenging why investigators thought they were justified in collecting DNA during the investigation. The hearing picks back up tomorrow morning. Brian?
So it will be picking back up around noon. We'll pop in there and see if we can hear anything here in just a little bit. We've got about an hour to go through some other stuff. Many of you guys know that we've been covering the case of Crystal Rogers. There's been some interesting information. If you guys remember this guy right here, that's Steve Lawson. That is the father of one of the people that had more participation in her disappearance. It appeared that his son, Joseph Lawson, was on a lot of substances, was probably easily manipulated with financial reward for doing things. And it sounds like Steve Lawson, his father, had more information about the case than he was willing to discuss or allege early on. He was provided transactional immunity, but you have to be completely honest. And I got a little insight on some of his interrogations, and it seemed like they were having to, every time he came in, new information would come out. That's not how immunity works. You understand? He was basically given a free ride. No holds bar. All you have to do is be 100% honest with the feds, and you walk free. And your son, which had the participation with his boss, will be the ones on the hook. And he still did not want to talk about his personal involvement in the disappearance of Crystal Rogers. So they have been arguing to separate because they wanted all three of them to stand trial together. They've been in the process of separating all of the trials out. Right now, I believe Steve's the only one, but I've got to do a little more research in the Crystal Rogers case and look at the docket and stuff like that. But did want to give you an update because those are two cases that are going to be coming to trial. We are going to be talking about them a little bit more before, just things that are coming up in 2025 that we are going to be discussing, as well as going out boots on the ground in these areas. I will be making a trip. I've been wanting to make a trip for a couple years to Bardstown, Kentucky. And as soon as we get some direction for this year, I will be making those plans to go out to Bardstown, Kentucky, along with making the plans and drafting the budget for the trip to Idaho. That's in the works right now. We're in the planning phases of that, Chronicles of Olivia, as well as myself. And we'll let you know as soon as we know something on when we're going to be there, what dates we're going to be there, how we're going to handle all this. Are we going to be inside the trial? Are we going to be outside, speaking to you guys live as the stuff going on and having a live feed of the trial? I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet. That will come later when we get more direction on how they're going to be accepting people into the trials. There's going to be limited seating. They're going to have XY number of seats for media. They're going to have XY number of seats for the public. So I don't know how all of that's going to work out. But once we get closer to trial, we'll figure all of that out. All right. So I'm going to be doing something a little different on this live, which I don't really do very often, right? We did it with War Dam Eagle, but I had an opportunity to know who War Dam Eagle was and absolutely loved the work. And then along came 5D, right? And loved 5D's work as well. We've all known Hindsight. Hindsight's been on TikTok for a while, as well as social media, doing basically a clip channel of information. But there is some smaller channels out there that have great conversations about stuff. And this one was sent to me by one of our audience members, and it was Rich and Ruby's channel. Rich and Ruby, I don't know them, never met them. This is the first time I saw their video. I haven't watched the entire video together. I've watched probably the first 15 or 16 minutes, about 50% of the video. And I liked it. So, Michelle's 2 hours away with Bardstown. Well, when I go there, maybe if you got some time, maybe we'll go do a lunch, meet in the middle somewhere. So, long story short is I started I like the direction of his conversation. I like the thought process behind it. And so I thought we would have a discussion. We'll listen to this in part. We'll go through a few minutes of it, have come to a stopping point. But here is the full video right here. Let me get that in here. The full video right here. And again, this is from, let me just make sure I got this right. Yeah, Rich and Ruby. Rich and Ruby. Now, the good news is they're not a new channel. They're already over their 1,000 some odd viewers. But I just thought that the conversation, the way he's talking is kind of spot on for me. So I thought maybe we'd share. If you guys like the commentary, go over there, sub up. But without further ado, let's get started on the show. Good morning, everybody. I'm Bullhorn Betty. We're covering the case of Sebastian Rogers. He was 15 years old when he disappeared from inside his locked home where there was no sign of intrusion. He was inside that home with only his mother. And he has since turned 16. Nobody has seen him by camera. Nobody has seen him visually. Nobody knows where he's at. And he's already went through one brutal winter. And now we're up against another brutal winter without any sign or anything related to Sebastian Rogers. This is becoming a very concerned. It's been a very concerning issue for quite some time, for many, many, many months. For all the people that knew Sebastian, family, all, my heart goes out to everybody that had nothing to do with this child's disappearance. For those that had something to do with this child's disappearance, for whatever the reason, I hope your asses stay in jail for a very long time for what you have done to this boy and his family and the people that love him and care for him. And that goes out to all the beautiful teachers that help educate this boy through his 15 years, his short 15 years here. He's 16 now, but we don't know where he is. And let's be honest, we don't know whether he's dead or alive. Okay? I'm not going to pussyfoot around with that. We don't know whether he's dead or alive. But what we do know is it's been a year, and we do know his biological father had nothing to do with it. We've learned a lot of information of the horrors that went on inside that home, and it's enough to make us very, very, very concerned for the well-being of this child. I wish more people would join us in our concern, but there's not. And there's us, right? And we feel at times, happy birthday, Pam. I hope you have a wonderful birthday, TGIF. And it just causes us a lot of concern when it comes to this young man. And, is his dad ever going to get to see him again? Is his dad ever going to get to hold him in his arms? I wish I could say yes, but honestly, I don't know. But I can tell you I'm angry for his father, right? I want to fight for Sebastian. Everything that we're doing has been to fight for Sebastian, and we have fought very, very hard to bring this young man home, and he's still not here. So we have to think about that, and it's time to listen and keep our ears open. Is there something we can find out? Where I'm going back through all of the interviews, folks, the ones that I didn't even listen to. We're going to listen to one, which for another creator that I don't think gets enough support from the true crime community, and that's Crime Stories Obsessed. Emma does amazing work. Not only that, but she's a first responder in her country. She should be having overwhelming support, whether she's talking about the Sebastian Rogers case or other cases she's advocating for. She should have the support of this community. So anyways, without further ado, this is Rich and Ruby's channel, and we're just going to go. It's quite long, so if you guys need to get your coffee, go take a bathroom break, do whatever you need to do.
I'm just me. Anyway, I kind of wanted to get into the searching thing, right? Because there's a few videos that I probably never post. You get frustrated when you're out there, right? You feel like, why are we out here and they're not, right? It's makes you upset. It makes you think that other people care more about their child than they do. And that's sad. It is sad, because now we have to look and reflect. That's how he was treated for 15 years, right? Or at least since she's been married to Chris, right? So what, half his life, 7.5 years, 8 years, because he's 16. So, but the hardest thing for me,
I think we need to let that sink in. I think that's something we don't allow to let infiltrate our minds. We know that there's abuse in this house. Okay. I don't need somebody telling me whether there's abuse in this house or not. I have a father that has reports that says it's bad, and that's to the extent of what he can say. And that's all I need to hear. This, if we go back to Nina's interview and her talking about how he abused her other children that were not his, we have to remember Sebastian was in the care of this man for half of his life. This stuff we know did not just start. It just started getting to the tipping of the iceberg, right? It just got to a catastrophic level. This man has not stopped abusing children. You just don't turn it off like that. Think about it. These are the same actions that were exhibited and expressed by his prior wife and her children. So if he was doing it all the way back then to her children, do you honestly believe when this child was introduced in his life, he wasn't doing the same thing to this child? He was that young. I don't think we look at it from that lens, but shouldn't we? There is a Sebastian news blip of 40 seconds that just came out that says there's new information about the case, but cannot be released. The information because it could jeopardize the case. Mama Bear, can you tell me where you saw that at, please? In my opinion, they haven't even looked for him. They haven't. They've done photo ops, Michelle. I agree with that. I feel like that they haven't done anything for him but try to show the world that they have without actually doing it. I mean, you guys are parents of children and grandparents of children and grandchildren. You tell me what is normal about this situation. I will open my ears and listen. I promise you I will. But we see moms across this country. I mean, look at Jennifer Santanello. Let's look at that mother, right? She has an adult child. That woman has been on a crusade since her daughter disappeared in 2023. Not just to try to find her daughter, but to help try to find others as well. And you see the desperation every day in her face. You see her at her wits' end sometimes. You see her up and down on social media. Some days are better than others. She has been crucified and criticized right along with Seth Rogers. But somehow he manages to still keep going. He manages to still keep his son number one and in the forefront. That's what we expect from any parent. So why aren't we getting it from half the parents in this child's life? Let me just see if I got any more questions before we get back to that. Whoever made the need to be fired, same with the people who had the idea. Katie, Chris and his mommy doing everything to hide Sebastian or shut people up. Well, like I said, the only thing that's going to shut me up at this point about this case and about who I think is responsible for this case is jail, right? That's the only thing that's going to shut me up. That's the only thing that's going to take my constitutional rights away from me. My freedom of speech and my freedom of press is truly jail, right? So, you know, the other side's rooting that I go to jail and I'm shut up. And then there's the law, right? So we'll see what side of the coin we fall on in front of the judges in this area. But at the end of the day, why is this man and his crew out there searching when the mom and stepdad refuse to? I think he has a point.
He is. What I want to touch on is something that I don't think anybody said at all yet. You know, we can sit here and say that, yes, Katie did search, right? And we wouldn't be lying, right? We'd be telling the truth if we said she did search. Although it was only 38 or 39 minutes, she did search. But the way she searched is where all the red flags are to me. Because remember, she got up, went to wake him up at 6. He wasn't there.
I got it, Mama
She
Bear.
went back to the kitchen, which she had just went through the kitchen, but went back to the kitchen anyway to see if he was in the kitchen. And trying to find my gloves. I know I had them. I don't remember where I put them. But anyway, she called Chris in 3 minutes. She looked 3 minutes, called him. 3 minutes walking around the house. That's a pretty good amount of time to walk around the house, right?
3 minutes is a good amount of time to walk around the house. Give me just a second. Let me see if I can pull something up here. Okay, first time in months. Let's see what they have. Investigation into missing teen Sebastian. Oops, let me get out of that. I didn't mean to do that. We're just doing this for you guys because this is a new update and somebody requested. We'll get back. Just remember. Oh, shoot. Of course. Just love StreamYard. I wonder when I'm going to quit complaining about StreamYard and just take action, right? Just take action and just nip this crap in the bud and move away from StreamYard. I'm so tired of StreamYard. I've got to be honest with you. Let's hear what everybody's talking about. It's just literally a 30-second clip.
And for the first time in months, there has been an update on a missing teens case that had search efforts expanding all the way to Hopkins County. Sebastian Rogers has been missing for 10 months. His 16th birthday was in December, and since his disappearance, search efforts have not stopped, and police say the investigation remains active with hundreds of tips in the case. Investigators say some information has not been released yet because it might jeopardize that investigation.
Has not been released yet. Let's see if we've got another area. Oh, that was 2 months ago. Hold on, I got the wrong one. Hold on, here it is. Let's see what this one says. Sorry, guys. I grabbed the wrong one. Let's see what this one has. This one was just a day ago. Okay, we're not going to listen to that. USDA, solar, electric, blah, blah, blah. We got 5 more seconds, and I'll put the sound back on. Sorry, guys. Let's see what we... Oh, it is the right one. Okay, it was the same one we just heard, but this one, let me see when this one was. I thought it said a month. No, it was just a day ago. Okay, so that was, I did have the right clip. I apologize, guys. I didn't mean to make you guys listen to two separate things here. But I don't know if you guys could hear that because it said it lost its sound. So either way, it sounds like we do have an update on the Sebastian Rogers case, but it's kind of, oh, thank you, Michelle. Michelle just gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Michelle thank you. I appreciate that, love bug. So I didn't quite understand that clip, though. They have information, and it sounds like law enforcement might be releasing something soon. Is that what you guys are getting out of that? You guys heard the news clip with me. What's your thoughts on it? Do you guys think that they're going to be coming? I mean, I don't understand what was the purpose. They said there's breaking news, but didn't tell us what the breaking news is. Does anybody see anything on social media related to TBI or Sumner County or anything like that? I don't think local news would be pulling from that Yahoo, honestly. Who said that? Tukray? I said your name right. Sorry. Not really. It all depends on what you believe in. That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, it sounds like no. Why Hopkins County? If they're in Hopkins County, well, it might have something to do with their connections to the who's. I wonder if they got any dumping advice from them. Sorry, I probably shouldn't say that. That's just, I'm angry because I just don't believe the parents. Something's brewing. That's what I'm kind of thinking. Something's brewing. And let's see what Frank says. Frank says, in American law, if civil case is launched, can all evidence that would be subpoenaed by law enforcement be kept? A civil lawsuit, yeah, you can get court orders for stuff. Absolutely. If it goes to your case, yeah. I feel like that means there will be some information soon. I think that was the way to let people know they know more, but just can't release it yet. Interesting. Well, you know what? This might make a little bit of sense. Let's think about this. What has been weird? Well, what we've noticed just over the last few weeks, since the stepfather went on ET's channel, they've went quiet again, right? They went ultra quiet. But who else also went really, really kind of quiet? You know who else, now that I'm thinking about it? At Night Private Intelligence. They were giving us literally updates daily, And then all of a sudden, the updates started faltering a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's like all of a sudden, it's like a spigot turned off when it came to updates from at night. And I didn't look at it like that. I just looked at it like they must be working really hard on other stuff and haven't had time, or, you know, because of how many days it's been. I was also concerned, you know, that I never thought that the silence may have been because of the movement behind the scenes with the case. I thought it was something else. But now that I'm looking back on it, I can honestly say that we've also had at night private intelligence very much silent over the last few weeks with very limited information. I think the last major update that they provided us really wasn't an update related to Sebastian. It was the death threats, you know, and trying to get the death threats vocalized and under control, because they were really bad from what I'm hearing. So just a little food for thought. You know, I wasn't thinking of it in that lens, but, you know, kind of looking, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Jenny. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But, you know, that might be, what does it say? The breaking news I want to hear is Sebastian is alive and Katie and his family get locked. That would be the best, absolutely the best outcome in news. But I have to say, you know, all of us here on YouTube, even you guys that watch, you guys have done an amazing job at reaching out to facilities and letting them know about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I know there at the beginning of this, many of you guys weren't even with me at the time, but our channels divvied up calling these facilities by the state we were in, right? If somebody was in Florida, they hit all of the Florida locations. If somebody was in Georgia, they hit all the Georgia locations. That's kind of how we divvied up, reaching out to all of the medical facilities and autistic facilities. That's how we did it. We were able to do that, and nobody had him. And we were getting the same type of information from facility to facility. And it was like, you know, no matter how you look at it, he would have had to have been checked in, and it would have required both parents. The only thing that did not require both parents signing him into it is if he had a mental breakdown and he went to a psychiatric type of facility. He does not, both parents don't need to sign in. However, they would still have the medical record in the medical trail of him being checked into that facility against his will or otherwise. And so, oh, thank you, YouTuber. Thank you. Betty, do you know when Seth will be on Nancy Grace? I do not. I heard about it. I have to be honest, I've been really busy. I'm trying to get some paperwork done. It's got to be, I'm pretty sure my deadline's Monday. I've got to look at the stuff. But long story short is, I don't know. I haven't had an opportunity to talk to him. And not only that, usually when I talk to Seth, it's more, you know, just taking his mind off stuff or talking about his son. There's not really a whole lot of questioning about this or that, because it's the furthest thing from my mind. Oh, somebody says tonight at 7. Tina Girl says tonight at 7. Thank you so much. If you know that, I appreciate it. I personally did not know when he was. I just heard that he was going to be going on. I can't even remember where I heard that from, to be honest with you, but I did hear it. All right, let's get back to this Rich and Ruby.
Not all got off a long time, but it is 3 minutes is pretty good. If you just don't do nothing for 3 minutes, you'll see it is a pretty good amount of time. But you forget that she backed out of the driveway, left the neighborhood. So she's searching for him. She said she went to go look for him by the school, over here, over there, but it was too late. Remember, like she was over here, over there, but it was too late. Remember, that's pretty much what she said. So she did technically search, but she didn't search the neighborhood. Not one time has she searched more than her yard. from what I've seen. Now, there may be clips out there that I haven't seen. Okay.
I've never seen, we've heard, this is what I just want to say on that front. We heard from the neighbors that early in the morning that he went missing, she comes running out of the house screaming, putting on an orchestration. One of the neighbors came over and helped her search the outside of her home. But we've never, and I'm going to say that again, have never physically seen this mother search any place. We've heard that morning she searched around her house, and then all of the other searchers, police searchers as well as private searchers, have never seen her out searching for her child. A mom. I want that to sink in for you. A mom that has been missing her child. I have never seen her out searching for her child. Not one time. I've never heard of her out there searching for her child one time. As a matter of fact, all the neighbors say they kept locked up in their house. And when they weren't locked up in their house, they got into their camper and left the area. Is that normal behavior for the people in my chat for a mom that's missing her disabled son that's never been out of her sight before? I want that to kind of sink in to people. Like, this is not, you can try to justify it all you want, but to me, this is just not normal. Oh, thank you, Jet's mama. Hey, Betty. Keep it up. Stay strong. Much appreciate your work. Oh, thank you. Hugs and kisses to you too. So what gives here, right? How can you say and stand on platforms for a month saying you miss your child, you want your child to come home, but you literally, remember we just did this, the complainers and the doers? You're complaining that you don't know where your child is, yet you're doing nothing about it? Does that make sense to anybody? I mean, if it does, please tell me where I'm wrong. Because from where I'm sitting, it doesn't make sense to me. Good morning, everybody.
I'm just saying, that morning she searched for 38 or 39 minutes, but we still don't know. We're only going by what she said. All we have is her word to go on. That's it. So the police only have her word to go on. The FBI, all of them have only her word to go on. This is what I did. This is when I woke up, he was gone.
Hey, Smiley.
I looked around the house for a minute, called my husband, and left. And then you rode around for 38 more minutes or 39 more minutes or whatever it ended up being, right? But in that time, he called the sheriff's office to report it. Remember, he said I had to call and make a report. This isn't a report. You're calling about a missing child. But he had to make it as a report because he's so used to making court reports from all the trouble he's been in that I guess he called it a report. Nobody was trespassing. Nobody was on your property. You didn't need to make a report or file a report. You just needed to say, my son is missing. That's it. But somehow, some way, it's a report. And here we go, right? That's what he said. Here we go. Step 1, check. Step 2, check. Step 3, check. Okay. They got their mission. Then they took an 8-day pause and then back to check 4, right? But where did she go that morning? That's really on my mind. And I know they know probably if they did pull her data on her car, which I don't know. I know they tracked their phones. I'm pretty sure they tracked their phones. But who's to say she even, well, I guess she had to have her phone because she talked to Chris. So that was her. Another part of their alibi was the phone call in the morning, just like the phone call at night. But the phone call in the morning to Chris was pretty much, how did she say? I'm trying to remember how she said it. She said, I called him and told him he's not here. He's not anywhere here, or something like that. You know, like, why not call 911 first before you even left the house? What if he'd have come home? What if he was somewhere you didn't check? You just took off in a vengeance. You took off because you knew he wasn't there. That's why you took off. But why didn't you search the neighborhood? That's one question I want to answer, really. And I think
that's important because again, we'd had no clue. We never knew she even left her house until the Chronicles of Olivia interview. Chronicles of Olivia's interview was the first time we heard that Katie had gotten into a vehicle and went around the neighborhood. Why did it take so long for them to state that she drove around the neighborhood? My opinion is she didn't let anybody know she drove around the neighborhood until law enforcement said, hey, why did your car leave that morning? Because remember, we heard that there was somebody up at the Worsham's general store. Maybe she didn't want anybody knowing she left. Maybe this is all part of the cover up, or what the deception detective refers to as a hoax, right? I've been watching a lot of his videos because I'm wanting to learn more about these cards. And I can tell I'm very ignorant when it comes to the cards, like, just a lot of stuff, like reticence. I didn't really understand that card. Well, because I was watching The Deceptive Detective, I finally understood what that card truly meant. So this is pretty interesting. It's very interesting psychology and the way people think and, formulate their words and their sentences. And we can all agree that we don't formulate this words and sentences. And even I said, there's the honestly card, and I'm always saying, honestly, this and honestly that. And somebody had wrote me and said something like, I say honestly all the time. I'm like, I do too, but that's not what makes the overall statement deceptive. There's other things that have to go through there. He even has a card. If you only see one or two of these things in a sentence, it's probably not a deceptive sentence. So that's where that cluster card comes in, because it's these things that happen together that's really what makes the person appear to be more deceptive than what normal people would speak. So when I say honestly, if I'm not coupling it with, fragmented sentences and passive voice, or, reticence or vagueness or something like that, other things to accompany that, then my statement is going to probably not be triggered as or identified as deceptive, because it doesn't have the other situations. Just like with the body language experts, right? Just because you're looking up this way and stuff, it comes with different things. The pursed lips with the crossed arm. You see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different types of behaviors, but it's not just a singular item that makes their behavior questionable or their statements deceptive. It's the multiple things in order, or that are grouped together, cluster, that when those items are clustered together. I think that's, again, I'm still learning, so I'll never be an expert. That's why we always refer people over to the deceptive detective, because he has expertise that we don't know. If we can just learn a little bit of his brain, we will be so much better at identifying deception in people's interviews. And that really is the goal, is just to learn and be more proactive in learning that, what is it? We were watching Ruby. Oh, thank you, Smiley. Thank you. And then what's this? Brandy is still speaking out with her being very sick. She was on panel 2 days ago asking people to continue to fight for her if she doesn't. Oh my gosh. This is all I want to say is, I don't know if Brandy is looking for a liver or not, but I'm happy to, do blood testing, whatever I can ever do to save somebody's life, I'm willing to do. And I hope there are other people in the community willing to do the same thing. So maybe it's just finding the right blood type, or, there's some liver illnesses that are, so far. I don't like hearing that. That's just that's going to make me cry. So, I don't know how we can help her fight for herself and her son. I'd like to find a way that we can, strum up some, help for her so she can be here to fight for her son. I don't know. I wish I had more information. If anybody has more information on that, or her liver or testing or any. Oh, Melly Cat, thank you so much. Please reach out to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com. I mean, like I said, I'm willing to take a blood test. If there's anything I can do, I would be willing to go under a knife to save Brandy. And I hope there's a lot of other people that would be willing to do that as well. We just need to know how we can help. She's got a whole army of people behind her. We just need to know how we can help. If somebody could help her, I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. But we're here, and that's all we can do is just offer help. We're here, and I truly mean it. I don't offer help with any strings, with any strings.
I never get it, but I'm saying, where did she go? Because she went over here, she went over there, she went by the school.
Yes, Michelle.
Where's here? Where's there? Right? Where's all that you went? Because I know the school don't take no 30-something minutes to go there and come back. So did you go to Chris's parents' house? I mean, do you think he was going to go that far? Did you go to BJ's? Did you go? I mean, where'd you go? Because, school zones, everything else are going on probably around, well, maybe not the time she was gone, I guess. But the school buses were running. But he never rode a bus.
This is a new creator, CNY family. This is a new creator that somebody sent me his commentary. I've never heard of him before. It's Rich and Ruby. And, he's just talking, just a normal Joe, just talking about the case, saying what doesn't make sense to them, and what have you. And it just, this is the way normal people think and behave. This is not a expert of any kind. This is just a normal person having normal questions about this very unusual case, and very much appreciative of that. We need more people speaking out, but just a small channel, 1,000 people. Oh, thank you, Hope. God bless you. Thank you. Welcome to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club, dun, 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 i.e. the Insane Asylum. So I just like getting different perspectives. I never heard of him before. And he had a lot of great talking points.
Bus. Remember, that's what they said in the little thing, that he had never been on a bus. That's what they told FBI or something. Because he wouldn't know how to get on a bus and leave or run away, right, is what they were trying to say. But so if he'd never been on a bus, means he'd never been on.
But my point is he has been on a bus. Didn't a bus come and pick him up and take him to school every day? So he would have experience getting on, say, a city bus or county bus, in my opinion, because he's used to getting on a bus every morning for school. And not only that, he was a high-functioning autistic boy. This idea that he was completely incapable of everything is not a true statement. And that's what the mom and stepdad wanted most of us to believe. If it wasn't for his dad coming forward and speaking about it, I think we would all still be under that impression.
On school bus, and he had never walked to school. So why all of a sudden randomly would he just get up and say, barefooted, I'm taking my flashlight and I'm walking to school? Because you went to the school. Well, in your mind, he walked to school. Think about that. In her mind, she thought he walked to the school. What a place to think, right? If your child run away, the last place he's going to go is school. He didn't have his backpack. He didn't have his shoes. He couldn't get into school.
All fairness,
so why the heck would you?
Like I said, he speaks the truth, right? I mean, let's think about this. But, would he have gone to school? If that was a place that he felt safe, yeah, he would have. Let's not forget baby Q, okay? He was only 20 months old whenever his mom took him out of this world. And he had been abused since he came into this world. But the one thing that we cannot, in my opinion, that we cannot look past is that he ran to a home when he ran away from home, 20 months, not even 2 years old, running away from home. I want you guys to understand that when it comes to baby Q. And he would run over to his babysitter's house. You know why? Because that's where he felt safe. So the only thing that I could think of is if he was running to the school. is that the school was the only place he really felt safe nearby. That would be the only reason, in my opinion, that he would have went to that school. But I have to agree with this guy. You know, if you're running away from home, who runs away from home and runs away from home to school? I mean, it sounds so simple, but who believes that? Like, remember, she believed her son ran away from home. And she's going up to the school. We have to remember that. I don't think it quite clicked in my head until normal Joe, just put it out like that. But once they put it out like that, something clicks in your head and you're like, yeah, he's right. He's right.
You go to school. If you knew he didn't have his shoes, why would he go to the school? He knew he didn't have his backpack. I'm sure it was right there wherever you put it the night before. Because I'm sure you probably pre-planned and got everything out to make it look like you're doing your duties. I'm trying not to get out of hand tonight. I'm trying to stay focused. Because it is frustrating. Because going back and rewatching, I got hours and hours and hours of footage up there. And I'm only releasing small because some of them we did small, some of them the thing happened is we got to some of these areas and it was so steep that in order for me to get down there, my, I guess, uncoordinated, unbalanced ass standing on the edge of those things was, thinking I was going to fall and then my phone, everything was going to go with me. So I would keep getting off and then we'd get to a clearing and then I'd be all right. And then I'd get a little further and there'd be another drop off. It's just crazy.
So you got a man here that's going in the woods searching for this boy. But mommy and stepdaddy, military trained. I want to also make sure you guys let that sink in. Military trained parents. Military trained parents. And we've got private citizens out there searching for this child instead of the military trained parents. And then when we see the military trained parents out there in this world looking for their son, it is a hot mess express. Definitely not organized as I would think missions of military trained people would have. Get it? We have to look at this from different lenses. And in my opinion, we have professionally trained, military trained parents that could have done a lot to help advance this case and help advance search efforts even after law enforcement scaled back their search and they failed to act. We can't forget that.
That's why some of them are 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Like they're all different times is because I was checking different areas. But I mean, that area y'all saw today was a total different area. I mean, it was similar, but it wasn't. It was about 1.5 miles from the other locations. We were just trying to do anything we could to help, right? And
that's what it's all about, doing anything to help. Be careful. Hopefully you're a resident out there. I hear they don't like outsiders coming in and searching. You might get some silver bracelets, matching silver bracelets there, sir. Just saying.
But why didn't she? Why did she only search one time for 30-something minutes in the morning to go by?
And I don't think it was 30-something minutes. I really don't. It sounded like it happened for maybe under 10 minutes or less.
School. That makes zero sense. I mean, if he's at school, he's safe, right? Why would you think he would go to the school? He's going to the school to tell? Like, you're so used to him telling the teachers on Chris that what did you think? He had left because of what had happened with the scratch marks and the bite marks probably on Friday or Saturday. Because most likely Chris probably snuck into town and had a fight with Sebastian and all that happened. And that's really why you waited the 8 days, was for that to heal, I believe, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. Remember, just my alleged bubble. But, is that what it was? You were so used to him telling the school, right? Because if you go back and you listen to that PI girl's, Chloe, when she said October 2023 and January 2024, those 2 months need to be vetted, like checked out. I'm thinking that's when probably some of the CPS reports happened, most likely, according to what I gathered from what Chloe or that PI said, Seth's PI, remember she made a big thing. She said, hey, you need to check the month of October 2023 and then the January of 2024. You check those 2 months, completely check those 2 months. What was it? More than one in those months?
Somebody knew something.
Was he coming home when he wasn't supposed to come home? Like I don't know. Like I think he was put out sometime in January, and whatever happened in January, most likely one of the ones she's talking about or referring to is probably what put the icing on the cake. That's what got Chris out of the house, right? That's why they said, you got to go, brother. You got to go. Go get your biscuits and gravy somewhere else.
We don't have confirmation or corroboration that Chris was ever asked to leave the house. Okay. I have to be factual here. I have to make that a statement to everybody. There is no evidence, only rumor, y'all. And I know sometimes it's easy for us to latch on to rumor, but there is no corroborating information to support that yet. Now, will there be? I don't know. Is it a possibility? Yes, it is a possibility. Is it a probability? It even could be a probability, but we still have no corroboration to that possibility or probability. So I just feel it's important for me to let you guys know that as well. It is alleged, but it doesn't mean that because it's alleged, it's true. So I want you guys to caution, because he's taking it as true here. And I get that. And I do too. I feel like at this point, something was going on, especially seeing a vehicle that resembles Chris's vehicle on satellite imagery outside of his mom's house on a time that he said he was working. So I do have some things that are leaning that this may have been a possibility. But we also have more information and corroboration that there was some major family issues going on here, and Chris was done. So he may have removed himself from the house because he was ready for the divorce. That's what I personally heard, is he was done with the relationship. Their marriage was over, and he was ready to cut ties and move on with his life, divide assets, the whole gamut. That's what I had heard. Now, again, there's nothing that I personally have that even corroborate that information, but that's why I'm saying there might be multiple situations here that, yes, he was outside of the house and he put himself outside of the house all by himself without CPS doing it. He probably realized it was getting to a very intense level inside that house. He's trying to get his daughter, and he's looking at his wife and his stepson as the reason why he can't get his daughter. They're the reason for all of this, because it can't be him. Remember, he's a narcissistic person. So it's everybody else's fault, not his. So just my opinion, but I want you guys to be very clear going into this. There may be other reasons why he wasn't in that house.
Because that's what he said. He likes his biscuits and mustard or gravy or something, right? So, go get it somewhere else. Go cooking in your RV over there, but stay away from Sebastian. And I bet that just infuriated the hell out of him, right? Kicking me out of my own home, right?
He may have felt that way.
Just set him off to a rage, I bet.
He may have felt that way. I mean, I'm not dismissing the way that CP may have thought of this particular situation. I'm not dismissing that at all. I mean, he may have very well had those feelings that this boy was kicking him out of his house because he was done. He was ready for the divorce. He was ready to split assets. He was ready to move on with his life. It seemed to me like this whole disappearance of Sebastian kind of saved their marriage, which is another very concerning aspect of this, is that now this boy is removed that was causing such problems in their marriage. Remember, she had a choice between her son or her husband. Her son is missing, and her son went missing under her watch. We can't forget these statements that we know are true. That statement has been corroborated. The statement where Chris gave the ultimatum, him or me, has been corroborated to be true. Just little insight.
every weekend that he didn't come home or wanted to come home, he was mad. But, you know, and I still wonder why Sebastian didn't want to go home. Like he told Seth, I don't want to go home. Like, I wish he would have just told Seth why. I don't know how he was able to not tell his daddy about CPS. They must have really threatened this kid. And this is what I'm saying. No telling what this boy.
And you know what? He makes, again, another valid point here. Nobody knows why he would not tell his father what was going on at that house. Was he threatened if he told? Was he finally getting his voice now that he was 15 years old and he just wanted it to stop? Is that why he started telling his teachers what was going on? Is that why there were so many CPS reports flying out of that home? Was he just so tired? Did he know that things were happening to him that shouldn't be happening to him? How much fear and humiliation did Sebastian have to live with inside that home? We have to ask ourselves. We don't know. I don't know. It doesn't look good, okay? And every week we're finding new information about
we lived with, right? There's no freaking telling, guys, what this dude lived with. I mean, literally. Uh-oh. Oh, we got plenty of wood. Man, I built the fire tonight, didn't I? Oh, yeah. It's going. It's a-going. It's a-going. All right. But, you know, I mean, that's how I feel about it, right? I feel that she did search a little in the beginning. So we got to give her a little bit of credit, right? But if we take that credit and throw all the red flags in that credit, then it really no credit, right? Because I'm wondering where it's still cold out here. See, it's still cold. It's getting colder too, but that's all right. I'm warm tonight. That fire is good and warm. But where did she go? I'm racking my brain. Like, I'm checking all these areas around. I'm like, where could she have gone, right? That's what I was trying to see. But then I keep forgetting about Tinkerbell, you know, the little fairy lights. Went over here and then right back to the casa, right? Right back to the casa. But it's, man, I'm wondering, poor Sonny. I still don't understand how he just fell down and unalived. That don't make sense either. Did he find something out? Was he finna spill the beans?
I think everybody has something to say about the weird timing of the sheriff losing his life. I'm, you know, maybe it's just the skeptic in many of us. You know, we're all so skeptical because we see such weird stuff in these types of cases that our senses just go overboard in some cases, right? It's like, this doesn't seem right at all. But I know we've questioned the sheriff. I don't have anything to say that it was related to this. In all fairness, what I feel that may happen is he either had a brain aneurysm or a heart attack that made him fall and hit his head. You know, the aneurysm would be part of the brain bleed. The fall from a heart attack could be part of the brain bleed. I think it was a medical event, but it's just odd because they've kept it so secret. And it's just a weird time for him to lose his life, you know, right before an election in the middle of the largest public case that this community's ever had. It's just odd. And for it to be 60,000 people and to find out that the stepsister of Chris is dead, that the green shirt hoodie may be deceased, and the sheriff is deceased, and we have a missing boy. It's hard not to think. I think that's the problem, is it's hard not to think that they're somehow connected. But until we have any more information, everything we're learning is it's not connected. Could it be? I don't know. I don't know, right? I'm very I'm very happy that we've got some information that might be released soon. I'm praying to God it's some information to lead us to have a little more knowledge of what happened to Sebastian. You know, where did he go? Where is he? You know, I don't ever, I'll be honest with you, I never want to think of any parent doing this, because I lived in, I had great parents, but I had a rough, rocky childhood. There was when it was good, it was great. But when it was bad, it was really bad. You know, I've never in my life ever feared for my personal safety or death, okay, in my household. Did my household mess with my head and F me up for a while? Yeah, it did. It did. And I know that there's a lot of people in my chat that identify with my story. But I still love my parents, and my parents still love me, and they were good to us, right? We just had, they were horrible to each other. And it really had some type of effect on me in my adolescence, teens, and into my adulthood. And I never wanted to address them until I was forced to address them, right? It was either address my childhood trauma or lose my life. So I chose to address the issues going on in my life. Did it fix things? No, it didn't. It took a lot of work and a lot of time, over a decade. Over a decade. To even know what you know, semblance of a normal life is. You know, it's I don't know. It's just the trauma, you know, and then you hear this. I never had to fear for my life. Did Sebastian? Did Sebastian? I think he did. I think that's why there was such an outcry to his teachers, why there were so many reports. I think Sebastian thought he was in danger.
You know, because he supposedly trusted Eric a lot, right? But then again, I don't know. I think Eric has been put in a bad situation because he's trying to keep everything so close and things keep getting out. I'm sure that man is as frustrated as a Snickers bar in 120-degree Arizona heat.
I agree.
He is probably freaking, like, you know, losing his mind over it, you know. I mean, any ex-detective would tell you that they were keeping that close to the chest, right? We know that video was important. But still, we need to know.
Hey, y'all, would you guys do me a favor? It just dawned on me. We only have 203 likes. If you guys wouldn't mind going out. Oh, hey, Justin, for all. It's nice to see you, my love. I hope you're doing well. TGIF. If you guys would kindly go out and give me a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. Many of you guys know we're doing a huge fundraiser for court expenses and legal expenses. You can do that through the Cash App, Venmo. We got a GoFundMe, as well as Super Chat, Super Stickers. But for the next 2 weeks, we are trying to raise as much money as possible for the legal expenses that this case has cost. Oh, thank you. Look at that. 21 months. Justin has put up, well, I'll be honest with you. I'll tell you guys a little secret, okay? Don't tell anybody. Justin has put up with me for a lot longer than 21 months. Shut up. All right, I'm moving on. Thank you for the love and support, my friend. Thank you for the love and support. Oh, thank you guys. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I truly do appreciate it. But let's get back to this. You know, again, this is just somebody that was sent to me by one of our viewers that saw this. And I have to agree, he makes sense. Again, just a normal person trying to do his part, trying to help locate where Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and there's the GoFundMe link for those that would like the GoFundMe link. And so I really do respect his perspective and his opinion on this. There are some things that he is taking as factual, and those may be factual to him. But I just on a you know, a precautionary basis, I just want to make sure that you know that some stuff has not been corroborated, such as CPS kicking CP out of the house. There's nothing to corroborate that, but we do know there is a possibility of an alternative as to why he wasn't staying at the home. So just keep that in mind.
Where Miss Little Stinky Foot went that morning, because I can almost bet you she probably met up with old what's the Keith, the grandma, right? The Stinky Sock.
Stinky Socks.
I call them both Stinky Socks, I guess. One Stinky Feet. Never mind. Carrie Stinky Feet, and the other ones are Stinky Socks. So Stinky Socks, right? Remember, I worked a 16-hour day. I'm beat, right? Yeah, that's how I wonder. Did she meet her somewhere? Because remember, she was the first one there, right? The first one there. So technically,
the first one there, but she came out 9 months later or 8 months later and said she didn't get there until 10:30 in the morning.
She may have met her somewhere. Maybe she forgot something at the house and she had to take it to her, and that's why she went. Because I don't believe she was going to the school to look for him. I think she already knew where he was. And that's why I'm kind of wondering, you know, we didn't give her credit for that little search that she did, but why did she not go in the neighborhood? I mean, hell, there's dummies in the neighborhood, they say, or somewhere around in there, right? In there, a mannequin or something like that. Like, why did you not go to?
And let's ask the elephant. Let's ask the question. Let's ask the question. Who put the mannequin in the woods? Who put the mannequin in the woods? Was it a kid? I mean, was there a place that kids played in the woods? I mean, we did have, you know, when I was younger, behind our elementary school, there was woods. And of course, us kids, you know, because we didn't have electronics, games, or anything like that when we were growing up. I know I sound ancient, but it was just a few short years ago when I was a little kid, okay? And if I say it, it's true. Okay, so just a few short years ago when I was a little kid, we had a little spot in the woods that was our little play area. You know, we would sneak back there and we'd have, you know, Barbie dolls. We would have our little BK's hearing started. Okay. Shoot. Let me go over here. Maybe I've still got it. And I do not have it still up. Shoot, that's not good. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let's see what we got going on here. Sorry, I had the link and then I closed everything out last night and didn't have the link anymore. Is the order? Yes, so I need to find out. His name is Steve Hitler. All right, let's see what we got. We are going to take a small little detour and pick this conversation up. Hopefully you guys can. I just lost my sound. Hold on. Good old StreamYard. Do they not hear us bitching every time we have a complaint with StreamYard? Do they not care that we're spending an arm and a leg to constantly have our stream messed up because of their crap shit service? Excuse my language. I'm over it. All right. Excuse my language. It's inappropriate. All right, guys. Here is the Bryan Kohberger hearing. Looks like they're looking for some things, getting started, and we will be starting here shortly. I'm going to take a little bit of a moment. If you guys would like to as well, I'm going to go take a little break, a little restroom break,
Detective Mary.
and then we'll be right back.
Detective Mary can come and be sworn. One of my staff took the opportunity to take a break. They'll be back in a second, so we'll just get them sworn in and we'll wait for them.
Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give now before the court is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you.
And I think it's fine if you just want to start with his, if you're going to ask him his background, you can do that.
Good morning. Detective Mary, could you please state your name and spell your last for the record?
My name is Lawrence Mowery, Mowery.
What's your current job?
I am a forensic detective with the Moscow Police Department.
And could you tell us about your background in law enforcement?
I have 14 years of law enforcement experience in the state of Idaho. I've been with the Moscow Police Department for the last 6 years in this current role.
What is your role in this case?
I was, I guess, put in charge of, lead, I don't know. I was the one that was looking at and funneling the excessive amount of digital data and evidence that was coming through.
Have you taken on any other roles in this case? Have you done?
Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was muted. We're going to pause this just for a second. We're going to go back to our topic of conversation while they're waiting for their assistant to get there. They're swearing in some witnesses, and then we're going to be going back into this good live at the visual. Funneling odd word use. My heart breaks for Sebastian and Seth. Bryan is innocent. He was a wimp. I believe this was a drug hit. Maybe. I don't believe that, but you and I know that. Big Mac Mike, our resident defense attorney up in the house. So I'm going to take just a few moments. Let me just listen. Let's just listen in real quick. Let's just make sure that there's nothing major going on.
Serve it with the search warrant.
I think we need to listen to
affidavit
this.
in support.
I think we need to listen to this. Let's listen to this and then we'll transfer back over.
Is it your practice to ever serve an affidavit in support of search warrant with the warrant?
No, ma'am.
Were you co-located with Special Agent Nicholas Balance as well?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the distance that you had in proximity to him?
He sat in the same lab that I did.
And so was that a cubicle setting? Can you describe the setting?
It's a secured forensic lab. It has a door.
And then inside, is it open? Were you in separate offices?
It's a single room.
Single room. And so you were literally in the same room with Agent Balance?
Yes, ma'am.
And was that for the entire time that he was co-located there?
Yes, ma'am.
Were you aware of his ability to have access to AT&T records without a
so many of you guys didn't know, but I was out there in the Idaho 4 case within a week of the murders of the 4 University of Idaho students. This here is the IGG, the open part of the hearing to the public related to the IGG. This may go down depending on what sensitive discussions that they talk about. But we need to know this because we are going to be out there at this trial in the summer of 2025. And so I need to bring all the audience members up to what's going on in this case because we haven't touched it in a while. And this is the only way you guys are going to be up to date. So when I go out there, you guys have the information about this case. We're going to start this case from the very beginning and bring all of you folks up along with the Crystal Rogers case, because those are 2 cases that are coming to trial that we have had a hand in and we are going to be covering. So I want to make sure that you guys all know about these cases that we are going to be covering boots on the ground. It's not going to be a fact-finding mission. It's not going to be searching. We're going to be there reporting and commentating on these trials and what we know and have learned. And that's going to be the extent of our involvement with these cases as they approach trial for both Crystal Rogers as well as the Idaho 4. When we have some downtime, we will go back through the cases from a front row view. I'll be out there in the vehicle with the cameras live, so you guys can go to every single place I go to as we walk back into time and relive these cases. And then we'll be at trial during the day, and we'll be doing some live broadcasts at certain areas in the afternoon to evening. Okay, let's get the volume back up on this.
Before the warrant was obtained in Idaho. And how do you know that?
I was the one that received the extraction.
And if people need to know what this hearing's about,
the extraction made?
This is a very, very crucial and important hearing. That's why we're stopping what we're doing to watch it, because they're trying to throw out the DNA evidence. This is the only link that they have to Bryan Kohberger being in that house and unaliving these students, was the knife sheath with the one molecule of DNA on the button snap. So they're trying to get this thrown out. This is a very critical hearing. That's why we're playing it here for all of you. Again, you're going to want to have this information.
USB is just a storage device that the data would be placed onto.
So with the extraction and the USB, can you explain the process of the extraction being made and it getting to you and it getting put on a USB?
Normally in a forensic environment, the device is extracted, that extraction, and then therefore replaced onto a different storage device for evidence storage or for sharing with other forensic investigators.
And so you said normally, but I'm asking you specifically to Bryan Kohberger's cell phone.
The data was placed on a storage device by S.A. Tanzola and provided to me.
And how did you get the storage device?
I believe it was brought back. I don't recall how I was given to it. It was still in the FBI packaging.
Do you have any personal knowledge of whether or not Special Agent Tanzola reviewed the data of the extraction before the search warrant in Idaho was obtained?
I don't recall.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. Judge, this is one you don't have yet either. This is Defendant's Exhibit A to cell phone. And it does have a sticker on it.
Do you have an extra copy of that?
Pardon?
You have an extra copy?
The ones, I handed two, right?
Yeah, and going forward, I need 2 copies.
I will. I heard that message yesterday, Judge, and I apologize. Moving forward, I will make sure that there's that extra. I'm assuming you want it for your clerk. So.
My staff attorney, yes.
I will, Izzy girl. All right, guys, we're going to monitor this. I want to get finished with, while they're going through the paperwork, I'm going to go ahead and jump back over here to Rich and Ruby. Let me make sure it didn't kick my volume. It did not kick my volume. and then we'll monitor that, and I'll get back to that.
The neighborhood. Like, you know what's so funny is she got up at 6. That means the trash trucks had just been kind of gone from there, right? I think something like that. Something like 5:30, 5:40, somewhere around in there. Whew, it's cold. I think that they went, but I don't know, man. That's another one I was wondering about. You know, if you know that just came, why would you say it was a trash truck on that video? And that's why I thought, that's when it dawned on me that they probably didn't show him the real video. He probably didn't even show them the real video. That's how close they were trying to keep that thing.
You know what?
You know?
This is what I honestly believe now that everything's kind of coming out. I either believe that law enforcement either did one of two things: told them what was on the video and they just took them at face value, or they showed them another section of the video and made them believe that it was a trash truck. Because I don't see Seth. I mean, I see Chris and Katie being deceptive about that, but with Seth stating it, I've always questioned whether they showed him what Nick Barris showed the world, or if they just manipulated the information or provided him the video of the trash truck.
They're trying to keep it close. I'm laughing about it because they just, you know, they were trying to, whatever, they were looking at them as suspects. So that's why they were not trying to show them those things, right? They don't want to tip them off and make them run to Canada so early. I mean, I know they ghosted pretty quickly after that, but they went to the children's playground or campground or whatever it's called, Yogi Bear. And why did he switch? Why did he switch? If he'd been staying at that other one so long, why in God's name did he switch, right?
Actually, that's sorry.
I haven't been able to figure it out.
That's another misconception, one that I believe I think it was Silver's on the Scene help fix that, because there's a couple statements where they state they went back to the campground, and that's what makes me believe that he was at this Yogi Bear campground that time. And what makes me believe that is because I think it was the Nancy Grace show. It might have been Web Sleuths, but there was something where he explained that he pays, when he gets a contract, he pays for his place to stay in full or a month at a time. So it's my belief that the reason why they went back there is because it was already fully paid. And it was an already paid site. And his camper had already been there. He had that section. That's why they didn't move him to the back. Why he was just right there up front is because I believe that's where he was at the very beginning, and that's where he went back to, because that's the lot he paid for the rental on. I think if he had to change, they probably would have upgraded the fee of some sort, possibly, potentially, allegedly. But I truly believe the Yogi Bear campground is where he was staying. And another reason why I believe that is because I did find a witness at I think it was a Speedway or a Sunoco. It was an S, but it was right over, it was in South Haven, which is literally right before the Tennessee line. And that was the only place that I could get anybody that had seen Chris, was at that one gas station in South Haven as you go over the Tennessee border. And I identified that because I figured if he was short on gas, or figured he was going to wake up and get gas the next morning on the way to work, what would be the most opportune, what gas station would be the most convenient for that travel. And I came across this one gas station right before the Tennessee border. I stopped there. Somebody did see him, but they said they had not seen him in a really long time. So that's what identified that I truly believe that was their campground that he had originally stayed at, and he picked his camper up from, and why I believe he took the camper back there. But again, that's just an opinion and an assumption, and nothing to corroborate that 100%.
I went out. And I might not ever, right? That's the problem. But I do want to say Sebastian Rogers deserves justice 1,000%. And everything that they're getting, they deserve because they've done it to themselves, right? They're the ones that change their story all the time. Not nobody else. They did. But they want to get mad at people and upset at people. But true crime world is a big speculation world. We try to get the facts and the truth. That's what we fight for. Whether you like it or not. You know, truth hurts, right? That's why they
Amen.
get their butt hurt. You know? I hate to see if you take a plate of food away from them, right? Whoo, boy. It'd be like a pack of wolves, ain't it?
And I want to talk to you guys about another case that came across my desk about a foster mom, and she's been just arrested, but we'll get into that case probably later this afternoon. It's pretty bad.
I mean, I don't know. I'm still wondering where she went that morning. It's going to be on my mind.
I do too.
You know, and everybody can speculate. Yeah, she did, but why? Okay, you want to speculate on that topic. Just tell me why she didn't turn left or whatever and go through the neighborhood before she drove out. Why did she just leave on a mission like she was going somewhere, like she had something to do?
I'm not worried
And then
about
say,
it.
oh, I went over here, I went over there, and it was too late. Okay. Now you tell the truth. About damn time. It only took you, what, 2 statements? Two interviews to tell the truth, right? Just 2? Oh, man, guys. There's so much out there that we can build off of.
Well, guys, did you guys hear? Did you guys see the stuff from that Laura from Facebook on X posted? Listen, are you guys watching this? Hold on, let me pull it up here. Look at this. Look what was found. I don't know if we knew that this stuff was found. Let me take off my background so you guys can see this. I want you guys to see this. This is what was found. Where is it? This time I shouldn't take it off. Did she delete it? Hold on, let me go. Hopefully she didn't delete it. Here it is. This is what was found behind Worshams. You guys see that? See the name? This is what was found by. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. I have a funny feeling I'm going to end up breaking or it's going to drop the volume or the sound again once I convert over to this one, but we'll just have to deal with it. Let me pull it up so you guys can see it better. That's just crappy. When was this out? This was from, oh, wow, January 22nd. Let me find January 22nd. Okay, I'm in the January 22nd area. Give me just a second. I'm trying to find it on here. I may have to go to a different way of finding it. I am. Okay. Okay, this is the one that's going to probably drop my sound, but we'll go back to him. But I wanted you guys to see this. And I don't know why I've got such a lag on my computer right now, but I do. Can you guys see that? No, hold on. There we go. So this is what was found behind Worshams. Remember that evidence that people had said that they were out searching and they found some stuff behind Worshams? Well, here's the stuff that they found behind Worshams. This was found in the brush between Worshams and Beach Storage Unit, and they have the date. So they found that on May 13th at 3:05 p.m. at 2040 New Hope Road, Hendersonville. And as you can see, this is a a magnetic topper. But if you read this, hopefully you guys can still see that. This is pretty interesting that this biomagnetic is a homotherapy, homopathy for children with autism. And so that's what's got people a little concerned about this child and what they had found out there in the woods. So I thought that was pretty interesting, that I thought you guys should see, because I don't know where those things come from, but I think it's awfully interesting that we have a mom named Katie, and there's a piece of paper with her name on it with a very much stained bed topper that is associated or attributed with someone that has autism, being a homeopathy type of treatment. So, again, what does it mean? Oh, look at that. It's actually stayed on. It didn't kick my sound. Thank God. I don't know. I don't know if law enforcement ever picked it up. I have no idea. I have no earthly idea.
What's not out there is where is he? And that's all that matters to me. This other bullshit, excuse my language, guys, sorry, but trigger warning times 100 million. This other bullshit doesn't matter to me. It's bullshit. I mean, we know their lies. Everything they say is bullshit. We know that. It's lies. It's all lies. They wouldn't tell the truth if it smacked them in the face. And they probably still wouldn't tell the truth after that. But I still want to know that question that my brother Dolly Vision always asks, right? I want to know the answer. Shout out to Dolly, brother. I love you. What did he accuse you of? Remember that? Dolly used to ask all the time, what did he accuse you of? Now I'm kind of getting to that point to where, as much as I've been running on this case, I'm thinking, what did he accuse you of? What are those pictures look like that they got? Because we know that no matter what the pictures, right? He could put, his poor kid could have pictures of black eyes and everything else, trigger warning, and CPS still wouldn't. They'd still dismiss charges if he never shows up to testify. That's what they did in the Nikki McCann case. He tried to unalive that woman for 3 hours. They have pictures. They have her interview at the hospital, in a hospital bed, all beat up. All the photos, being hit more than 15 times upside the face. Something wrapped around her neck. And they still dismissed the charges on him because she wasn't there. She's missing, right? So here you got the same damn thing. The Nikki McCann case is similar because she had pressed charges for what he did. Just like Sebastian, the CPS had finally kicked Chris out for what he did. And then what had happened? They both vanished. And then poor little Summer, she didn't do anything to vanish. There's so many of them, and there's so many in that area. That's what makes it hard to search that area. There's so many. You don't know what's out there. And you can't say what's out there until you get out there. And to drone those areas that have been searched, it's not bad, really. You can see a lot. That is correct. You can see a lot. As long as you know what you're doing, right? We know that. And I wish I could figure out how to get that footage up there. I need to email Dolly, see if he can help me. How to get that drone footage up on here. And then I can show y'all some of these areas. I even flew over to, I'm not going to say it. Y'all know what I'm going to say. I flew all over
Let Rich know if he needs some help on how to get the stuff uploaded onto YouTube. I'm happy to help him if he can't get a hold of whoever he's referring to.
Everywhere over there. And there's really no way to miss a camera, right? Maybe one little area where you can go along a fence, right? Where you can miss a camera. Because even the way Tinkerbell, right? Even the way Tinkerbell floated out there to that car and floated back on her little wings, even she got caught. So that's how serious it is to get caught on these cameras. And the other way, the cameras we know were a lot nicer. Remember, they made it almost look like it was daybreak. The one the mob crew did, shout out to him. He does wonderful work. Right? I don't know, man. And then I listened to Pat Brown again, how she has that one about Katie with the 3 changing of stories, right? What that means. 3 changing of stories, the number 3, 3 a.m. every.
I don't know. I mean, we just watched all those interviews yesterday, and I would say that there was five interviews we saw about what happened, and we got 5 different statements out of them. I don't think it was changed 3 times. I think their story has changed many times, and the variations of certain aspects of the story has changed many times.
Everything 3-minute conversation, 3-hour conversation, 3-hour drive for Christopher. Like everything was in 3s. And the 3 different story changes goes with the 3. Like all this. And it's crazy. Because Candace was 2 minutes, right? She vanished in 2 minutes.
And you know what's really odd though, is he's bringing up this, but he shoot, I just lost it. I'll have to come back to it.
I mean, it's just some of this is just beyond me how they're not arrested. I'm so upset at how they're not arrested.
Because it's this is what the problem is for, and in my opinion, this is what the problem, this is where the problem lies. This is just my personal opinion of the situation. The aspect of it is my own, but I believe it's the lack of proper infrastructure. Because think about it. What are the things that help build circumstantial cases? That digital forensic data. If you don't have internet in certain areas, that forensic data that you have on your cell phones, on your cars, and on everything else, that's what they don't have out there in these areas that don't have the basic infrastructures that they need to exist. We're in 2025. Our internet was birthed in 1994. How do we still have dead areas across this country when it comes to our internet, which we all rely heavily on in every aspect of our life? This is to me failed planning of that state, of any state that has dead zones. This day and age in 2025 are failing their citizens. This is a critical infrastructure need, almost as important as your electric, right? Everything is moving on social media. Everything is moving on the internet. We have schools that have no more books anymore. Why? Because they hand out computers to do their work. Well, what are the kids from the country supposed to do that don't have internet? Or it's so ungodly expensive to have 5 megabits from satellite. It's failed planning and not being financially. This is a critical infrastructure issue. And what is our government formed for? Infrastructure, roads, right? All that stuff, infrastructure and law enforcement. That was the design of our government to begin with. Not this crap that we've got here in 2025 with our government. That was not what our government was designed for.
No, they got something in the works. I feel it. I feel they do. In my opinion, I think something to blow up, right? But I'm just wondering what damn day it's going to blow up.
We're going to end that conversation
Sebastian,
right there. You guys can go over there and get the rest of that video if you'd like to watch the last 10 minutes of it. But I have to say, when is this going to blow up? Well, if we've got a mainstream media saying that there's some information that law enforcement has that they can't reveal to us at this moment in time, then yeah, I have to conclude that we do have some information that might be maybe released from law enforcement here shortly. All right, guys, that's what I have for the Sebastian Rogers case. If you guys are here for the Idaho 4, we're going to go start dovetailing into that and listening to the rest of the hearing that's going on in the Bryan Kohberger case. I'm only going to be able to spend another hour with you guys at max. So depending on where you are and who's all in the chat, I may just step away and do my work while you guys watch the hearing, but I've got another hour of time I can dedicate to this live. I've got work that needs to be done. I've got deadlines that I have for a variety of different cases. And so I've got one more hour. That's it. So if you guys would like to hang out with me for an hour, please don't forget to just stay tuned. For those that would like to move on, thank you for spending your morning with me. Have a wonderful day. I just want to thank everybody for this segment of the show. Melanie, thank you. Michelle, thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for the gifted membership. Please don't forget, if you received any type of gifted membership from this show, please don't forget to tell your gifter thank you. Jenny, thank you so much. YouTuber, God bless you. Jet's Mama, it's nice to see you. Thank you so much. Mally Cat, Hope Floats, thank you so much. Welcome to the Coffee Club. Our beautiful Justin, it's nice to see you, my friend. Holly, and our beautiful Sonia. Thank you so much, Love Bug. I appreciate it. God bless you guys. All right, guys, that is going to be the end of the Sebastian Rogers segment on here. We're getting to up. And of course, when I go to get back to the trial of Sebastian, the Idaho 4, this is what popped up on the screen. The court's taking a break. Maybe that should be my cue to go ahead and stop. I guess I'm going to have to go ahead and watch. I don't know when they're going to be back. It could be 5 minutes. It could be 10 minutes. So, guys, thanks for being here with me. If you guys would like to watch that, I'm going to monitor it. If something pops up, I'll go live again with some breaking information or breaking news. But this is probably my sign to tell me to get my butt to work. So I got some things I got to do, some paperwork, and then we'll be back with you guys later this afternoon. Thank you for all being here. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, say it with me, kind to one another. All right, go have a great day, guys.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases.
I forget the damn poll every single day of my life. I forget this damn poll. I don't even know why I do it anymore. Oh, thank goodness I do read. I'm getting better at reading your comments, right? At least I'm getting better at reading your comments. Let's go through the poll. Let me get it pulled up here. It's going to go through its little thinking thing. I haven't been on this side in a while. Oh, thank you, Sorta Morta. Sorta Morta became a new member of this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club. Okay. So the question was Sebastian abused at the Stafford Court home? And 82% of our audience here, that's 513 votes, believe that he was without a doubt abused inside of that home. 17% of our audience do not believe what has been described to the public quite rises to abuse. So there you guys have it. Your poll has been read. Thank you again for everything, guys. I do appreciate it. And now we're going to go with our outro.
From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We've brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you advocating for each of these victims. God bless you, God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.